Welcome back, family, to another episode of So Walking in Wisdom. And today we're going to unpack the characters of Love in Every Word, Part 2, The Wedding. And this is sponsored by no other than the wonderful Omoni Aboli, our very own Achalugo self. And as of today, in 2 days, Love in Every Word, Part 2, The Wedding, is 7 million views and counting. So let's go. If you haven't seen it, go and see Omoni Oboli Loving Every Word Part 2. And of course, if you have not seen Part 1, please visit Part 1. This was indeed a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful romance love story from the beginning to end. And who doesn't like love? Who doesn't like romance the way it should be done? And for me, this is a textbook case of how to romance your very own Achalugo and how to respect your very own Odoguo and how to come together as a mature person. And it starts with a level of a 360, right? You are ready to level up. You have the emotions, you're spiritually sound, you're ready to take on the world. You're just looking for your very own Achalugo and Odoguo indeed. So today we're going to unpack Omoni Boli's absolutely loving every word. And if you have not subscribed to this powerful young sister who's making waves globally, please be sure to do so. She's at 1.57 million subscribers, and for that we say thank you. But before we get into today's beautiful romance, it's important to acknowledge our very own Queen Soso herself, and she's at 1.7 million subscribers. If you have not subscribed to Sonia Uchi Television, please be sure to do so. And for that, we say thank you. For the Sonia Uchi community, to Soso fans, we're going for 2 million, 3 million subscribers strong indeed. And lastly, if you have not subscribed to my very own So Walking in Wisdom that started about 2 months ago, we encourage you to please consider subscribing, fanning out, sending it to your network of sisters and brothers. Only if you're a man or woman of faith, only if you love Sonia Uche television and you love faith-based movies, only if you desire to uplift Nollywood and really spread the word in terms of the great work that they are doing. Many of the movies I've seen is about faith-based, it's about a deep message, and it's about understanding the stories behind each character that's portrayed in such great depth. And if you can relate to the character, for better or for worse, they encourage you to go ahead and level up. And I'm here as a leadership coach. It requires self-reflection, building self-awareness, so you can take the bull by the horn, level up, pivot, and the whole concept of leveling up also is about growing. And in our leadership coaching practice, I inform my clients, GROW is the acronym for getting rid of old ways, whatever that may be. If it shows up in Nollywood and you desire to make a change and pivot, go ahead and do so. But you first have to acknowledge it. So it's about being intentional during your self-reflection. Document your notes, track your progress, and go ahead and level up. So this is what Social Walking in Wisdom is all about. So it's about Nollywood aficionados coming together, enjoying a great Nollywood movie. And then for me personally, it's about giving you the meaning behind each character, and then asking you to challenge yourself. Look at a man and woman in a mirror, only if you desire to level up. And I say this primarily because as we continue to have virtual conversations, or even within in the continent of Africa, we are seeing so much news about the conflicts between the Caribbean diaspora, or mainly the American diaspora, when they're in Africa. And there's a disconnect amongst all people, even though we have the same melanin. And it's high time we remove ourselves from the whole concept of divide and conquer and understand that we must unite for success. Together, indeed, we can achieve more. So if you decide to do so, totally free of charge, do the work, you will be well on your way. We're not talking about perfection. We're talking about now that you know better. You desire to do better. In these very precarious times, family, it's important that not only as men and women of faith, we are called not just to be hearers of the word, but doers of the word. And that means if we see something in ourselves that we need to clean up, we need to clean up. And we are called to put on the righteous robe, right? We're called to adorn ourselves and we're called to make right choices. And that's a whole concept about adorning fruit of the Spirit, making right choices daily, not sometimes, not once in a while, not just on Sundays or if you celebrate on the Sabbath, the true Sabbath, which is a Saturday. It's every day. 24/7, 365. So if you desire that for your life and you desire you are worth it, start doing the work. You can simply start by looking at your favorite movies. And I've always stated if you desire to have me analyze a specific movie, one of your favorites, I'll be happy to do so. Just respond to one of these particular movies and leave in your comment section, and we will certainly do a analysis for that as well. But for today, we're going to look at the beautiful movie Love in Every Word. And for those of us who are not too familiar with Love in Every Word, again, we encourage you to go and see it and support what romance is truly all about. Now, for those of us that are not from the Nigerian family and we're not familiar with the Igbo language, the words that emanate from this movie, part one and part two, is terms of endearment. Achalugo for female and Odoguo for male. And Achalugo literally means the home of the eagle or the home of honor and greatness. And it also serves as a term of endearment, primarily used to describe a woman of exceptional beauty, prestige, strength, and nobility. And family, for those of us who are women in the faith walk, that's the virtuous woman described in Proverbs. Okay, so if you want to know an example of a virtuous woman standing in her in her aura and her regality, understanding that she owns confidence and she has a level of integrity and she values her man and she values her other Achalugos, knowing that the world doesn't revolve around her. And she values her mom because she appreciates the work of a single mom, or even if it wasn't a single mom, she is a work of a mother that is next to none. And it's important that you pay homage for that woman. It may not always be a birth mom, but you must pay homage to that person that take their time to raise you, be responsible for you, sit with you. In other words, three T's: give you their time, talent, and treasure indeed. So let's get into it. And the word Odoguo is for the male, masculine, and it pretty much translates to hero, warrior, mighty man, or great man. And biblically speaking, we could easily consider Solomon or King David, and I will say King David himself. And it's a title of high honor given to a man who you deeply respect, and but this is someone who has earned it, right? Not given, but earned it. Someone with strength, maybe a quiet strength, prowess, charisma, great achievement. And in modern terms, you might easily associate with a wealthy man with influence. So I would say, are some of the presidents that you know in the East or the West, would you classify them as Odugo? And if your answer is no, then it's less about wealth and power, but in terms, again, what has been earned and demonstrated, right? And part of it is not just being hearers of the word, doers of the word, a man of honor who keeps to his word. Let his yes be a yes, let his no be a no. So, what we will do today, family, because this particular movie doesn't need any breakdown, it's just truly a perfect depiction of what every man and woman is looking for in each other without considering perfection, because there are certainly flaws. For Odoguo, his flaw was in the mispronunciation of words. And though he may not have been schooled in terms of university schooling, his pronunciation of phrases of words, she often corrects him. But because he's a man, a learned man, he never has a problem with being corrected. He takes it all in fun, but he is wealthy anyway because clearly he has skill sets and talents that he put to work, and there are things that he knows how to do that allow him to be wealthy and to be labeled a chief. On the other hand, Achalugo is not perfect. She does not even consider herself worthy of this great Odoguo, but yet she is learned, she's cool, her pronunciation of words, well spoken. Any person would really want this person, any man would really want this person locking arms with him, but yet she didn't deem herself perfect, right? So we're not talking about perfection, but it's about honoring the person that you're with because you understand the work that this person has put in. And he or she has demonstrated why he or she's indeed a Chologo or a Odoguo, respectfully. So let's listen in on this to this particular movie and hear her definition of Achalugo, which brings me to it's not the particular woman, it's any woman who has the skill set. And for me, again, biblically, I'm looking at a virtuous woman. So let's listen to her thoughtful words complimenting her mom as her Achalugo, her sisters as her Achalugo, and being prayer warriors indeed. So let's listen in.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. Like, it means so much to me. Well, I have been a bag of nerves all week, so if you would pardon me, I would be reading my speech. Thank you. This brand was built in pain, prayer, and in the quiet line between who I was and who I have become.
And this line is very powerful because it lends to growth. No Achalugo stays the same. It's about growth through prayer and, yeah, pain.
But tonight it stands in love. Tonight we're not just launching our first physical store, we are launching 2 original sets, each crafted from a different part of me. Achalugo. This is for the women who raised me, held me, healed me, for my mother, Uloma, from who I learned patience, who I learned strength. Even when it feels like the whole world is falling around me, she taught me how to stay gracious through it all. I love you, Mom.
And that's another key attribute of an Achalugo, right? Being able to be patient, but most important, gracious through the valleys, through the hills, through the peaks, through the lows. It's about endurance and it's about patience and it's certainly about navigating in grace.
For my sisters, Evie, who is unavoidably absent, Ife, and recently Tolu. These women have prayed, fought, and stood by me, even when I didn't have the courage to fight. Thank you.
And what I love about this introduction, her both biological sisters and sister friend, not frenemies. And these are her prayer warriors, individuals that give her the strength to stand when she couldn't stand any further. And these are the type of Achalugos, one Achalugo to another. So it's not one person and you're done. The goal behind this character analysis is to illustrate clearly that we all can be Achalugos if you do the work and put the time in. Absolutely. We're just going to fast forward to the description she made of her, indeed, Odoguo, and that's going to be very important indeed. Let's listen in. I thought this was one of the best parts of the movie. I love that word.
This is for my Odoguo.
Odoguo.
A scent made of stillness, of safety, kindness that doesn't ask to be witnessed, of love that holds you even in chaos. A love that isn't a performance. It doesn't need a stage. It just shows up present and patient. A love that is my peace. This is dedicated to my Odogu, my business partner, my business partner, my life partner, the love of my life, my king, Chief Obira, Godwin Chukwu.
I know this family, she said, my Odoguo. If she has one, that means everyone could have their own. So today's character analysis pretty much is to bring insight to how you can not only begin to do the work so you can become and emerge into your own Achalugo. And in doing so, you can find your Dugwu. And if you're male man of faith, you can also level up to become an Odogwu. So you can be someone's Odogwu as well as you finding your Achalugo. So that's what's today's character analysis. It's indeed all about Achalugo and indeed Odogwu. So let's begin in terms of today's analysis and let's get a little bit in terms of what that means, the 5 effective strategies for a person who desire to improve, working, getting in the work, doing the work while they wait for the Achalugo or Odogwu, as she stated. So you must prioritize self-improvement and happiness. This means you have to be happy and you need to continue to go through an evolution transformation process. It begins with renewing of your mind according to Romans 12:2 and leveling up. And this is not a selfish act, it's a selfless act because the more you do for yourself, the more you improve, the more you become happy, you yourself can be there for your loved ones. So this is why prioritizing self-improvement and happiness for you is a selfless act and not selfish act. It's important to pursue hobbies and interests and what you should be doing right now. It puts you in an environment with people who already share a common interest. And this provides a natural conversation starter and a foundation for connection. So whether it's a book club, something online, hiking, walking your dog, volunteer work, club, class, whatever it is, do work that would elevate you, allow you to upskill, and in the process, you can expand your network and circle. Number 3 is leverage your existing social network. And so let your trusted friends and family know that you're open to meet new people, attend social gatherings. Even if you're an introvert, more like myself, you still have to go out and meet people. It doesn't mean that you're a recluse. So go to events, go to parties, organize friends, etc. And whether you're introvert or extrovert, you can do what needs to be done so you can refresh indeed. You want to embrace online dating if you're Generation Z, and if you're older and you're not comfortable with it, then that's fine. Just ask individuals. But the most important thing is we're in the 21st century. You have to embrace everything that's offering, but everything that's good, not negative. If you're not comfortable, then stay with what you're comfortable with, which is again referrals, expanding your network based on family and friends, etc. Practice openness and approachability in daily life. That's number 5. And that means be present, look up when you're in public spaces, walk with intentionality, that you indeed seek in your Achalugo and Odogwu, right? Be approachable. If Odoguo opened the door for you, you walk through, you don't yell or scream. And if an Achalugo tried to explain something to you as an Odoguo, you accept her explanation graciously, because an Odoguo is all about learning. In this character, you can see Uzo's character did not bite back at Bam Bam's character when she corrects him. That doesn't happen, because a man who's secure and confident in his space and who he is at a particular age, which is so refreshing, is confident in any type of constructive criticism that will continue to allow him to level up and elevate to the next level indeed. And now we're going to consider the key to finding your Chaluga, right? We say that Chaluga is a beautiful, noble woman. We know that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And let's listen in for a couple of seconds in terms of when Bam Bam's character was speaking and telling Uzo's character why he is her Odoguo.
Oh, she loves his money. It's the fact you think she's lying that upsets you. You wouldn't marry a man because of money. My mom taught me to work hard for every dime that I earn. She also made me understand that there are no free lunches anywhere. So all my life, I have gravitated towards guys who I fend for, support, help with money. I have never in my life dated a billionaire until I met Obira. You will not believe that this man bought an entire building just to get my number. I was wondering, like, what can I possibly give a man like that? I felt so undeserving. I had imposter syndrome. I was like,
and that's a very modest and honest and candid comment she made, feeling undeserving, even though she has dealt the work and she was surrounded by important males in her life, while her mother was working on her to become the independent, kind-natured, good character, virtuous woman that she is today.
you know what? No. I was wondering, like, what could this man possibly see in me? Because there were also a few things that just didn't tick the box, so I wasn't. Oh, yeah. So, what made you date him? I got to know him as a person. Oh my goodness. Obira is kind, very generous, patient. And then I asked myself a very valid question.
And that's it for now. You have to watch the whole movie, but those are some attributes that certainly money cannot buy. And when someone speaks about generosity, it's time as well. So again, it's the 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure, right? And the most important of all those 3 is time, because you could get back your treasure and you could regain and improve on your talent, but you cannot get back time indeed. So that's a very important component. And now we're going to get into when we consider the Dougal man's journey, what does that look like? So Dougal man's journey, strong, great, high power. So in order to cultivate your own ambition as a potential Odogwu, you could definitely find him in professional settings. It could be both blue collar or white collar settings, not necessarily just in corporate. And he's really defined by his hustle. So certainly that's where you'll meet him, grinding, doing his work, growing his empire, regardless the industry. And he's a person, certainly is important to value substance over flash. So whether it's community circles or philanthropic circles, it's so important to be around those circles indeed. And if this person is of another nature, different industry, you certainly, again, want to be around those circles and hear what people think and see about him. And you definitely want to see character over titles. So, especially those focused on young professionals or leadership retreats. Faith is a cornerstone and should be a cornerstone if you're a man of faith, of character. We speak many times about building good character and looking at Galatians 5:21, 22, 23, fruit of the Spirit indeed. And part of wanting your own Odoguo, you have to be prepared to be his peace. Upscale restaurants, first class travel locations can all be places where you can find him. But Odugo works hard and seeks quality in all layers of his life, including his downtime. And this is when he really values peace. When he comes home or when he calls you, when you have an encounter, you need to be the place where he knows he can rest his head and indeed close his eyes. Now let's consider indeed your Achalugo. What does that mean? A woman's journey. And again, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So when we consider beautiful, at least on this platform, we're looking at 360. You're beautiful when you consider your mind, body, and spirit indeed. A prayerful woman, a woman of faith, a woman of virtue, a woman of great integrity, a woman, even if it's of the 21st century, that she enjoys going out there and hustling, doing the work, but she's doing so with grace and integrity. And one Ochalugo, if you find one woman, more than likely her friends are also Ochalugo. We're living in an environment where a few times a frenemy will infiltrate and penetrate that circle. So ensure that each Ochalugo protect the other Ochalugo indeed. If you leave an opening, that frenemy indeed will penetrate. So what to do? You want to demonstrate respect and esteem. Where to find her? Again, cultural events, cultural activities. Someone who read, maybe in a university setting, of course, theater, etc. Even social media, absolutely, why not? But you have to ask the right questions. And for this reason, Achalugo really implies a level of that mental and social ability, not necessarily the kings and queens, although they can be kings and queens and princesses, but it's part of their inner being. Women who seek out these experiences are often well read, well bred, cultured, value deep connection. One of the things in Bam Bam's character, she's well spoken, Queen's English, words formed, beautifully stated. And she speaks in a way that leaves you hanging, wanting, desiring more, just hanging. And it's absolutely beautiful to listen to. Then let's look at be a man of high standards, right? So where to find this person? Again, education. She doesn't have to be university setting, right? What if she is a master of so many different skills, cuisine? She's a seamstress, she's a tailor, she knows how to use her hands in so many different ways, making and manufacturing her own designer clothes and oils, etc. That is very important. And an Achaluga is an eagle. She aims high. She's often focused on academic or professional excellence, ensuring her home of honor is built on intellect. You have to engage her respectfully because she's purpose driven, and you can use traditional ways to indeed bring her in. So the overarching principle becomes what you seek is who you should desire to come. You shouldn't seek males, you shouldn't be seeking an Achalugo if you're not working towards becoming an Odogwu and vice versa. So if you seek an Achalugo, be an Odogwu, a man of clear direction, strong values, and palpable success with integrity. And if you seek an Odogwu, be an Achalugo, a woman who is beautiful in character, supports his vision, someone who brings him peace and manages her own life with grace and distinction, and a woman of faith and self-respect. So you should be doing, what can you be doing now? You should be on your way. to leveling up. Work on your own pillar of strength, whatever that may be, wherever that weakness is. Look to grow and build while your eyes are open and you've been intentional of seeking your respective Odoguo or Achalugo. And that's pretty much it for this particular episode, looking at Love in Every Word, sponsored by the beautiful, indeed, Omoni Oboli. And I love it in every single way. And as we close out, we do the viewing where this young lady shows the world who her Odoguo indeed is. And I love this part of the Nigerian culture. And thank you, Omoni Oboli, for showing this and sharing this with the rest of the world. Maybe just Nigerians and other African countries and cultures and tribes can relate to this, but those in the West and the Caribbean who have been robbed of such beauty, unbeknownst to us, we welcome this beautiful scene. So we encourage you again, if you have not seen this particular episode where she bows before her Odoguo, tell the world this is he. Absolutely. And this is what they call the traditional marriage ceremony. We salute Omuniabulu. Here goes flowers to you. Please take your flowers. And let's give a shout out to Brother Uso and Sister Bam Bam. They did a marvelous job in portraying, making the world believe in romance and love again. Looking at the elder man, looking at a man of wisdom, a man of a certain age in his 40s. And there's a reason why he waited until now for his love. So there's something to be said about seeking a wiser older man, not just an older man, not just an elder man, wiser and Odoguo indeed. So, family, that's it for another episode of Social Walking in Wisdom. Again, thank you so much for watching. And if you have not subscribed to Social Walking in Wisdom, we encourage you to do so. If you have not subscribed to Sonia Uche, please do so. And if you have not subscribed to Omonia Bully, please continue to watch. And yeah, let's make this a round two in terms of a highest growing movie part two. Love in every word indeed. For me, one of the top two, I'll say top two romance love movies I have ever seen when you consider Nollywood, Hollywood, or Bollywood. So, Omoni Boli, thank you so much for sharing your talents and gifts indeed. Until then, family, be good to yourself and each other. Shalom.